Hi, I'm Michelle Sterling for Friends of Science Society. Are you suffering from eco-anxiety, eco-grief, solastalgia? Are you feeling like climate change is soul-crushing upon you? Feeling like the entire weight of the world is on your shoulders sometimes? Well, CBC has some tips for you here, but I don't think that they're that good in terms of how to help you get over this eco-anxiety. First of all, Dr. Courtney Howard is an emergency room doctor in Yellowknife, and she's an expert on how climate change impacts health. What that means is that she's an activist doctor with the Canadian Association of Physicians for the Environment. These are the people who are pushing the Competition Bureau to shut down fossil fuel advertising and also to shut down natural gas and fossil fuels. If you know anything about medicine, you know that modern medicine cannot exist without fossil fuels. So it seems like they're cutting off their nose to spite their face, even though they say they're saving the planet. But they're such planet savers that actually Dr. Howard and her colleague here, Rejan Youngkind, flew to COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh. So I guess they aren't that worried about climate change after all. My advice to you, if you're concerned about climate change and its burden, it's wearing on your mind, you're carrying eco-grief and you're afraid, I would recommend that you read two books by Brian Fagan. One is called The Great Warming, and it's about the medieval warm period, which was a time between about 950 to 1300, and it was almost as warm as it is today, or warmer. And society flourished. Food was very abundant. That's when many of the big castles and cathedrals were built in Europe. Versus his next book, which is called The Little Ice Age, which is the period from about 1350 forward to about 1860, or what is known as the pre-industrial period. Life was pretty much horrible then. The weather was very erratic, often extremely cold, and sometimes the weather was so erratic that women were burnt at the stake as witches for the crime of weather cooking with the help of Satan. That's how crazy people got. And a lot of the things from that time echo the kind of demonization that we hear today from eco-activists and climate activists against people like myself who hold a dissenting view. But I recommend that you read those two books and just see how climate change has changed dramatically without any influence of fossil fuels. And then ask yourself, is it not something like climate hysteria for CBC and Dr. Howard and the Cape doctors to be pushing a climate hysteria narrative when human history shows us that climate change has always changed and human beings have always adapted? For Friends of Science Society, I'm Michelle Sterling.